with regards to the Brent Thomas case, you did mention something quick to me yesterday with regards to the grounds for the appeal. You're not necessarily disagreeing with the appeal.
No.
So, and this is a part with all of the bubble that people might have forgotten. So if you could.
Yeah, because what the Brent Thomas, as I know people would, we aren't going all back, but Brent Thomas is also a licensed firearm dealer, and he can train and so on, so he has all the requisite authority which was granted to him. And the whole issue was that the police, and it was headed by one officer in particular, who it seemed executing warrant after warrant after warrant after warrant. And this is where we reached the point that, of contention. On October the 2nd, after having him in jail for how many days, Quinlan Williams issued a habeas corpus to let him go. And on the 3rd of October, he jumped on a plane to Barbados, supposedly on his way to the United States. The problem with the government was that they went to the DPP. DPP did not tell them what to do, but they said to them, the final advice they gave was the 4th. Now, by the 4th of October, he was not in the country. So what you really should have used was extradition. They backdated the advice to the 3rd of October. And in order, they backdated it. Notice what the judge said. I'm not saying it, as the judge said it. They backdated the advice to the 3rd of October. And he said clearly to avoid using extradition, because extradition procedure is a far more detailed thing, and governments and ministries have to get involved. So
could they do that, by the way?
What?
It?
No.
I tell you what they did.
I'm pretty sure the answer to
I'm
that
telling
is,
you what they did.
I'm not a lawyer, so no.
I know it may come across as a rhetorical question, but just
they did. This is what the ministers and the judge said. He said that even though the final George Busby was the one they went to, and he gave no definitive position, and it's only on the 4th he didn't even say, he said, well, based on what you're giving me there, yes, you could charge him. But they found out that he had left the country since the 3rd of October, and he was in Barbados. And the judge said that they backdated the advice from the DPP's office to the 3rd of October, clearly to avoid taking extradition proceedings. I'm just telling you what he said.
Right, yeah, but...
So now the point would be now, when he came back home, when he went to Barbados, as you know, he was in his room. The police came there with all of the, whatever you all call those big, right, and the bullet breasts and so on. And according to him, they told him that he was under arrest. They took him in a van and they brought him to the tarmac, and he was handed over to a non-commercial flight. So we don't know, but a non-commercial flight. And having done that, he brought an action, and this is where the Attorney General has based most of his appeal grounds. He is saying that, there is a point to what he is saying. He is saying that in making his application, he relied on a breach or infringement of his constitutional rights. Taking into custody, no valid grounds, etc., and freedom of movement, all the things that go under the Constitution. But what the AG is saying, those alleged unconstitutional actions occurred in Barbados. It did not occur because they didn't tell him what he was being arrested for, all of that. It happened in Barbados. And he's saying that a constitution applies to the country where the constitutional rights have been infringed. And the constitutional rights that he says that have been infringed did not occur in Trinidad, but it occurred in Barbados. And they quoted a case called Rehape as authority for saying that a similar thing had happened in the BVI, where the Canadians went there for a money laundering case, and they were relying on the charter, which is equivalent to our Constitution, and they were not successful as the police, because the police, they said, in the Turks and Caicos Islands, they said because all what you did, even though it was done in conformity with the Turks and Caicos laws and all of that, you cannot apply the charter, People's Charter of Canada, extraterritorially. But the judge didn't know that was his, that was going to be his challenge. So he did say that there are exceptions to that rule, and he distinguished the rehab, which we're not going to go into, with the situation with Brent Thomas, and said in those circumstances, even that case acknowledged that you can say that even though the unconstitutional actions occurred in another jurisdiction, you can apply it if you come within those exceptions. And that's what the judge did. And this is what the Attorney General is challenging. He is challenging the fact that the acts of which he complained occurred extraterritorially, and therefore you could not apply the Constitution of Trinidad and Tobago to Barbados. He also said that if he had a complaint against the police and the way they handled it, you don't go to the Constitution, you go to judicial review, saying that the actions of the police will ultra-virus their powers. You don't jump to the Constitution. They also said that they were of the view that the judge seemed to be willing to accept Brent Thomas's version of what happened, and did not take a rounded view of all the things. But I think the strongest point is the fact, I think, that that the actions, the alleged unconstitutional actions, did not occur in Trinidad. They occurred in Barbados, and that's the rule. And that if they needed to do anything, the right thing would have been an extradition. What you looking very confused?
No. I'm just wondering. So, as much as the AG said that the judge seemed to have wanted to take on.
I hope the thing is on Ketan, eh?
Want to have taken Brent Thomas' version of events. If I think it's reasonable, the judge should look at what's going on and seeing how the case was handled. I can't fault the judge for wanting to, take what the police say with a pinch of salt at that point.
Yeah, but that's not the key. That is why.
Right. Yes.
Just now I said don't forget about the lawyer part, but I think you have to really leave it. I think you have to leave it in.
But Karen, as much as this appeal might actually work for the AG,
I don't know if it will.
You're right, but it might. Doesn't Brent Thomas, though, didn't the AG more or less still spell out, well, look, you went down the wrong path, but if you take the right path.
What was the wrong path, though?
When he said that you need to go, was it judicial review? No, for the police. If you have a complaint with the police.
Yeah, but most of the unconstitutional behavior occurred in Barbados, not so much in Trinidad. So even if he went the judicial review role, he would have been limited to acts in Trinidad, and he wanted to you notice that the Prime Minister went to Barbados that very same week, and you heard the AG admitting that we may not have done
golf.
Yes, and you notice the AG came out quickly and said, well, maybe we did some things that were not really correct, so we wait and listen to see how that pans
I'll tell you
out.
what.